Now the very first thing you'll notice about this e-bike, it is not an ugly black e-bike. This is the Gen 3 Outcross. I haven't ridden this hardly at all. Let's go take it for a ride. Right. It is not a Step 3 e-bike like some of the other e-bikes I have been testing recently. Whoa! I'll raise this up just a second. Okay. So it is a little bit harder to get attached to with the non-Step 3 frame design. Ooh, this is on pedal assist level 3 here. And this is a very solid e-bike, and I mean that in the best way possible. It's about $15.99. It is no frills in a lot of ways, and it's extra frills in a couple of ways, and I'll expand on that as we keep riding here. Now, the first thing I noticed about this particular e-bike was that there's no fenders, which I found to be a little bit odd on a mountain-esque bike. If it rains, you're gonna want some fenders. Makes it a little bit easier to put together without fenders. But if you're gonna wanna go in the rain, you're gonna want some fenders, especially with an e-bike, because you're gonna be going fast and you're gonna get rain splashed on you. The next thing I noticed about this e-bike, besides the bright color obviously, was this battery design. It's halfway integrated into, hello doggy, halfway integrated into the bike, which I really like. It makes it a nice solid design. I do like the red color. All the other e-bikes we've tested have been black or white, so it's nice to have something that's just a little bit different. And for some reason, I don't know why this is, but so many of the e-bike manufacturers don't want to tell you what kind of motor they have in their e-bike. Now this does have a Bafang, I hope I'm saying that correctly, motor that is integrated into a peak power of 1,000 watts, sustained at 500. It has 80 Newton meters of torque, which puts it about on par with like the Rad Rover 5. Now, it does have pedal assist in 5 different levels, and I'm going at a moderate pace here. I'm in gear 5, pedal assist level 3, not using the throttle. Another unique thing about this e-bike is that the throttles are typically right here, and on this e-bike it's right here. And it's a little bit of a thumb throttle, and some people like them, some people don't. I've tested some other e-bikes that I'll put some links to, but they had a really cheap throttle over on this side. This is not a cheap throttle. This is a high quality. I believe the whole controller actually comes from Bafang, but I can't prove that. It doesn't have that on here, but it does have a nice little LED display that's nothing fancy, does not show you range, but does show you your current miles per hour, your odometer, and how much battery is left in graphical form. Have not charged this battery full, and it says I'm about 75% full. So this e-bike though is a little bit more rough and tough than even the last e-bike I tried, which is the HJM Tourney bike. This is just a little bit more solid of an e-bike, from its frame to the suspension and even to the tires. Once again, I am a little confused why they chose not to put fenders with this, but to each person their own. It does have these giant big 4-inch tires, and overall the bike just feels more firm. I don't know how else to describe it. It's very, very steady, even more so than that HJM bike that I just tested. Now, let's go on some roads here. Let's actually take us a little bit off-road. But one thing I do appreciate about this e-bike is that it does not have a super sensitive pedal assist. Some e-bikes, man, you just like barely touch it and it gets going. I'm on pedal assist level 3. I've got my shoe stuck in here somehow. What the heck? There we go. And I like how this just gives you a gentle little nudge. Check this out. See, a gentle little nudge. Not like some of those e-bikes where, whoa, hold on. Even in pedal assist level 2 on some bikes, it's just way too much. Now this bike, whoa, does handle the bumps and the rocks very well. like I mentioned, this is a very sturdy e-bike. I feel like I'm up a little bit higher. I need to look and see exactly how big these tires are, because I feel like they may be even a little bit taller and I may be up a little bit higher than some other e-bikes. Now, once again, it is another beautiful day here in Colorado. Now, you can't go wrong riding any e-bike here. Woo! Once again, this bike handles everything you throw at it pretty well. The bike also does not come with a rear rack, which I was also a little bit surprised at. Most e-bikes these days do have a rear rack. You can buy it as an accessory from Gen 3. I had not heard much about Gen 3 until very recently when they reached out to me and wanted me to try this e-bike. But so far, woo, so good. I mean, who doesn't want to ride e-bike? Let's go pick it up a little. Let's go up to pedal. This is level 5. Here's pedal assist level 5. There we go. Pick up, pick up, pick up. Woo! Nice and solid. I like that. Hi. As I mentioned, it does have throttle and pedal assist. Let's hit the throttle just a little bit. Take it over the bridge. Woohoo! I did have a little bit of problem putting this e-bike together. It was not their fault, it was my fault. They do include a brake pad cover that is on the brake pads on the wheels. Brake pads are always tough to get on, especially mechanical disc brakes are always tough to get done just correctly. And especially when you don't read the instructions correctly and see that there is a cover that you need to remove, it made it a lot more difficult to put together this e-bike than it should have. But once I figured that out, it was really pretty easy to put together. Now this e-bike for sure will get you some looks. It is bright, it is red. It's almost like Corvette red or Rusty red, whatever you want to call it. And after riding an e-bike for the first time, you always want to make sure you check the brakes. Some of them take a little bit to get what's called tuned in, broken in. It's where you hear them being a little bit squeaky there, but they will wear in pretty quickly, and you want to adjust them too after the first times. I am not perfect at doing it, but you can look up a lot of YouTube tutorials to figure out how to get that done. There's also something a little bit loose up here. I probably just didn't tighten this enough, but it's one of the things you want to look at every time after you get an e-bike, first couple miles on it. Just give it a good once over. Make sure you're looking at how tight things need to be. And it doesn't hurt to look again at the instructions and just tighten everything that it tells you to tighten. It does have a front light, which is nice. The front light is nice and is powered by the battery. It does have a rear light, and I haven't taken this out in the dark to see how this works yet, but it is battery powered. So I don't know how exactly that works with lighting and turning it on. I frankly haven't been out in nighttime riding to test that out fully, but it's an interesting piece. It's actually, you do actually strap it on, right? I believe it's right here. I can't see what I'm doing. And I don't know if it turns on automatically, but I'll have to check and see. See, it's right, yeah, it's right here. You actually just attach it with this Velcro, which is kind of, rubber, which is kind of interesting. This does have a nice front suspension. You can lock it in or lock it out, but it does allow you to handle the bumps a little bit better than, not a little bit better, a lot bit better than if it was not there. Let's take this over here. But overall, this is a really good e-bike. Now, who would I recommend this e-bike for? Let's say then over something like the Rad Rover 5, or even the HJM, why did I say GM? HJM tourney e-bike that I just got done testing actually today. You know, this is a little bit more of a serious off-roading e-bike. Now, what do I mean by that? It just seems to be a little bit more sturdy and designed to handle whatever you throw at it. And I know that may seem weird because it doesn't have a fender. Once again, that's the thing I was surprised at by the most. But it's got a super solid motor. I'd say it's tuned really well for this bike. The pedal assist is not just unrational like some of them are. Some of the pedal assists are just unrational. It's like, why would you ever want that much juice in every turn? And this is super rational. It really does feel like more of an extra oomph. You don't get that extra that you get with a lot of the other e-bikes. And it's just well tuned. I also like it when e-bike companies don't try and hide who the manufacturer is for things. We all know there's only a handful of manufacturers for wheels and tires and for even motors. So why don't they tell us who exactly they are? This one does exactly that. It's a Bafang, I can never say it right, Bafang motor, and they tell you all the specifics about it. They tell you everything about the brakes, everything about the shifter, and there's just no surprises. And I appreciate that in an e-bike. And I feel like companies like that will be the ones that stick around. Other ones, who knows? Rad Power Bikes, they don't tell you who it is, but they have a large enough supply chain where they do a lot of things on their own, and they can take a semi-custom motor approach, where I know other companies like HJM, like I said, that I just reviewed, they probably are using a pretty off-the-shelf system. KBO probably even also using off-the-shelf system too. Hard for me to tell exactly, but they all look and feel very similar. One thing I do like about the Gen 3 bikes is they do offer a certified pre-owned. A lot of these e-bike companies that are direct to consumer will get e-bikes in return because people don't like them, or they may be too big or too little. And you can actually buy a used Gen 3 bike, which is really a great idea because they give you something with returns and you get to save some dough on a great e-bike. This e-bike is also, if you want something that nothing vain about this, but want something that's a little bit brighter colored, that's cool too. And the other thing I would say about this e-bike is it is just simple. It's got all the right extra touches, like this is not a super complex trip computer, but they've tuned it to where the pedal assist is not just out of control. And I really appreciate a company that will spend the time to make sure their pedal assist matches how you use the e-bike. And that's exactly what this Gen 3 Outcross is like. It's available, I believe the price is $15.99 or $16.99. I'll put the full price and details on this. But it's got about the same power motor or power battery as all the other e-bikes, about a 30 to 40 mile range. That's a good range. Obviously you can go infinity miles by using your legs until they fall off. But overall, I do wish this e-bike had a couple of other features like an integrated backlight, a fender, and a rear rack, but otherwise, it's a pretty cool bike. If you have any questions or comments, please let us know below, and we hope to see you again real soon.